Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be crocheting a very beautiful strappy bag, and this is what we're going to be needing. Sorry that this looks very small. I've actually used out of it, and this is all that's remaining. But I have this. I actually made use of 𝗖𝗥𝗗𝗗𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗠 polyester soft macrame, and it's 250 grams. It's a 3mm macrame cord. So I'll be also making use of those magnetic back claps. I don't know if that's the right name for it, but if you don't have this available, you can make use of a zipper. And this is very important, darning needle and a 3.5mm hook. So, like I would always say, you can make use of any yarn you have available. Just make sure that it's a thick yarn. Do not make use of a lightweight yarn. If you make use of a lightweight yarn, try doubling the yarn to make it thicker. Now, let's start off the project. To begin, start by making a slip knot. Once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and chain 46 chains. So when you're done, you're going to skip this first chain that you made and go into the next chain with a slip stitch. But we're going to be working in the back loop only for this first row. So normally we would go into here like this, but now we'll be working into this tiny bump. Make a slip stitch. After you've done that, we're going to make a total of 43 single crochet. That is 1 single crochet in the next 43 chains. And remember to work in the back loop only. So I'm done with mine. We should have 1 chain remaining, and into that chain we're going to make a slip stitch. And that's it for row 1. Now for row 2, chain up 1 and turn your work. So we're going to skip the last stitch in row 1, which is the slip stitch here. This is the chain 1 that we just made, and this is the last slip stitch that we made in row 1. So we'll skip this and go into the next stitch and make a slip stitch. So now we're going to repeat and increase, then 7 single crochet 5 times. So in the next stitch, make your increase stitch. And to do that, we're going to be placing 2 single crochet into 1 stitch, which is the next stitch. Now we're going to make 7 single crochet stitches. That means that in the next 7 stitches, we're going to place 1 single crochet. Now we've made 1 set of increase and 7 single crochet. So you're going to repeat that 4 more times to make this a total of 5 for this row. So in the next stitch, make your increase stitch and make 7 single crochet. Now I have 2 sets of increase and 7 single crochet, so I have to make 3 more to make this 5. I'll do my off camera and show you guys how mine looks. So when you're done with your 5 sets of increase and 7 single crochet stitch, you're going to go into the next stitch with an increase stitch. That is 2 single crochet in 1 stitch. And into the next stitch here, make a slip stitch. And that's it for row 2. For row 3, you're going to chain up 1 and turn your work. Now we're going to skip this last stitch here, which is our slip stitch from the previous row, and go into the next stitch with a slip stitch. Then we're going to make a total of 45 single crochet. That means you make 1 single crochet in the next 45 stitches. Now we're going to make a slip stitch into the next stitch. A very important tip that you need is that in each row, we do not place any stitch into the slip stitch from the previous row. We usually make our last slip stitch into the last single crochet on the previous row. So now let's make row 4. For row 4, chain up 1, turn your work. Now you're going to skip the last stitch, which is the slip stitch here, and go into the next stitch. Then make a slip stitch. In the next stitch, we're going to make an increase stitch, which is 2 single crochet into 1 stitch. Now we're going to make 8 single crochet. That is 1 single crochet in the next 8 stitches. So once you're done with that, make an increase stitch into the next stitch. So now we're going to make 7 single crochet and an increase stitch 3 times. I've made my 7 single crochet. The next stitch I'll make my increase stitch. So I'm going to repeat this for 2 more times to get a total of 3 sets. 7 single crochet, increase stitch, 7 single crochet, increase stitch, 2 more times. So once you're done with this, you're going to go ahead and make 8 single crochet. In the next stitch, make an increase stitch. Now in the next stitch, you're going to make a slip stitch, and that's the end of row 4. For row 5, chain up 1 and turn your work like usual. So we're going to skip the first stitch here, which is a slip stitch. We'll go into the next stitch with a slip stitch. Now make 47 single crochet, which is 1 single crochet in the next 47 stitches. Now in the next stitch, we're going to make a slip stitch. For row 6, chain up 1 and turn your work. So you're going to skip the first stitch here and go into the second and make a slip stitch like so, and we're going to make 10 single crochet. Once you're done with that, you're going to make an increase into the next stitch. Then we're going to repeat 7 single crochet and an increase 3 times. So I'll make my 7 single crochet. Then in the next stitch, I'll make my increase stitch. So I have one set of that done. I'm going to repeat that 2 more times. So once you've done your 3 sets of 7 single crochet and increase, you're going to make 10 single crochet. And once you're done with that, place a slip stitch into the next stitch. So from here onwards, you're going to repeat rows 5 and 6 till you get to row 19. I'll do mine off camera and meet you guys when I'm done with mine. So I've worked till I got to row 19, and this is how it looks like. Now we're going to make row 20 and 21. So for row 20, chain up 1 like normal and turn your work. So now you're going to skip this first stitch here and go into the next stitch with a slip stitch. Then we'll go ahead and make 45 single crochet. Once you're done, make a slip stitch into the next stitch. Now for row 21, chain up 1 and turn your work. So we're going to skip the first stitch here and go into the next stitch with a slip stitch. After that, make 43 single crochet. Now in the next stitch, make a slip stitch. And this is where we're going to end for one panel. Now chain up 1 and cut. So now you're going to go ahead and create another panel exactly like this. So I'm done with mine. Now we're going to attach both of our panels together. To do that, you'll be needing a darning needle. So you're going to thread your yarn into your darning needle. Important thing to note is, if you're a beginner, it will be best for you to place a stitch marker at the side of the last stitch on your last row for both panels. If you don't have a stitch marker, you can count. So I would pass my darning needle into the very first row of one panel and into the first row of the second panel. So I'm going to tie this up a bit to secure. So after tying, I'll pass my hook into the side of the second row on this side. And into the side of the second row for this side. So once you're done with that, go into the side of the third row for this side and insert your hook. Then look for the side of the third row for this side and insert your hook. So you're going to keep on doing this till you get to the last row on the side here. Now, once you've sewn up the sides, we're going to work on the bottom. So do the exact same thing we've been doing. Remember to sew the corresponding stitch on this side to the corresponding stitch on this side as well. So do that till you get to the last stitch for this side, which is here. Then you continue sewing the sides like we did for here. So I'm done attaching the two sides together. So to do that, I'll go back into the last row and insert my hook back into both sides. Now go ahead and turn this to the front. So the next thing we're going to do is to make the straps for our bag. Now for our straps, we're going to be making an I-cord stitch. So if you already know how to make an I-cord stitch, you can just go ahead and follow my instruction on how to make each strap for the bag. But if you don't know how to make an I-cord stitch, this is how to make an I-cord stitch. You're going to start by making a slip knot like usual. And you're going to go ahead and chain up 3. Once you're done, you're going to skip the very first chain and insert your hook into the next chain. Then yarn over and pull through. You should have 2 loops on your hook. Now insert your hook into the next chain, which is the first chain you made, and yarn over, pull through. You should have 3 loops on your hook. So you're going to pull your hook out of the last 2 loops and hold on to that 2 loop like this. So you're going to yarn over and pull up a loop through the very first loop that you have, like so. Now insert your hook into the second loop, still holding on to the third loop, yarn over and pull, Now insert your hook into the last loop, yarn over and pull. So we get our desired length or the number of rows that we need for each strap. We're going to be repeating what we did in row 1. So you're going to pull your hook out of the 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the very first loop, insert your hook into the second, yarn over, pull through the second loop, insert your hook into the third loop, yarn over, pull through the third loop. So you're going to pull your hook out of the 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the first loop, yarn over, pull through the second loop, yarn over, pull through the third loop. So this is how it looks like. Repeat this till you get your desired number of rows or chains. I don't know, because this look like chains actually. So how I like to count mine, I start from here. I start from the side that has the slip knots, which is here, because each side looks the same. And this side will actually look like this side when you make this longer. So I would go to the side that has my slip knots and I will just start counting from the side. This is what I mean. I start counting from here. The side that has the slip knots, because each side looks alike. So I start counting from the side that has the slip knots. So I count 1 from here, 2, 3, 4, 5 to confirm if I have the desired number of chains that I want. So just do yours and I'll show you guys how to finish up. So when you've made your desired number of rows or chains for your strap, you're now going to yarn over and pull through the 3 loops, chain up on and fasten off. So use this method to create your other straps. For the handles, you're going to make your straps like you normally would, and when you're done, you're going to pull through the 3 loops you have on your hook, then turn your work like this. So we're going to slip stitch into the other side of our strap, in the middle here. Chain up on and cut. So this is how my straps look like. You're going to arrange them from the biggest to the smallest. So I'm making use of 2 darning needles for this process to make my work easier. But if you don't have 2 darning needles, I advise you get a pin and kind of attach this to your work using your tiny pins before you sew it up. So I'm going to insert my yarn into my needle, but for this process I like to make this a bit thinner, and how I do that is I tug on this place to kind of make it thinner. So if you're doubling your yarn, you can just make use of 1 strand of yarn. So make your thread as long as you want it to be, but not too long so it doesn't tangle. So I'm going to do the same threading method for my second darning needle. So why we're going to be needing 2 needles is that we're going to be working on both sides at the same time. Now we're going to start attaching our straps. You're going to start from the largest strap you made till the smallest. So place your strap around your back. So how you do that is you're going to place it close to where you attached both panels. Then you determine where you're going to attach your straps. So I'll be attaching mine on the 2nd row here. Sorry, I'm attaching at the 3rd row. I'm going to go in with my needle from the back, close to where I attached my 2 panels here, and insert my hook. Now you're going to insert your hook into the very first row here, or the very first chain here. Sorry. Then do the same thing for this other side as well. Go in with your second darning needle and place this close to where you attached both of your panel, both your front and back panel for the back. And in the same row you attach the other side, attach this as well. In order for this to be secure, just make a loose knot. Then when you're done, you can hide this with your crochet hook or darning needle, depending on how long it is. And that's it for our first strap. It might look a little bit loose now, and that's because we've not done much. See, our bag is starting to look good. So you're going to go in with the second one and place it very close to the first one to determine where you're going to be attaching. Tug tightly at this, then insert your hook into the very first stitch of your second strap. Make sure this is very close to your first strap. Then insert your hook into the corresponding stitch. That's the stitch underneath the strap. So I'll kind of tie this at the back again to make it a bit secure, because it's not really secure since this is thinner than the normal yarn I used to work for the bag. Now do the same thing you did here for this other side as well. So we're going to use this method in attaching all the straps to the bag. Now go in with your third strap. This is mine, 95 chains or 95 rows. I don't know what's called this per se. Place it on your work. So now you're going to attach the bag to the strap. Always insert your hook under where you placed your strap and into the strap. Do the same for this other side as well. I'm so sorry for this sewing. Now we're going to attach the remaining straps exactly the same way we did for the straight straps. I'll do mine off camera and hopefully the sun would have gone down a bit, and I'll show you guys how to attach the handles. I'm done attaching the end of my straps to the body of my work. So now we're going to attach the handles, starting from my 110 chains. So what I like to do is I like to attach this part that I joined my handle together to this side so I can hide it later on with a strap. I'm going to attach to this side. And attach this side as well. So go ahead and attach your other two straps in the same manner. Remember to attach from the biggest to the smallest. So the next one should be your 105 chains and the second one should be your 100. So guys, I'm the one attaching my bag handles. I have 3 of my handles attached already. Sorry that this looks a bit scattered. By the time we tie this together at the end, it will be more balanced. Now we're going to do the same thing we did here for the back as well, but there's a little thing I like to do. I like to pass my needle just to make this a little bit more secure. So right now my needle is at the back. I'm going to go back to the last strap here. Then I would pass my needle into each and every strap on this side till I get to the back, in order to make this a little bit more secure and make it stay put. I'm going to leave my needle and use it in attaching the straps at the back of my bag. And I'll do the same thing over here as well. So when you're done with the front, go ahead and attach the back the same way you did for the front. When you're done attaching your straps to the back of your top, we're now going to work on the hand and the straps for the hand. So you're going to attach the 3 straps. Let's say this is your front of your bag. So the 3 straps that you created for your handle, you're going to attach it to the straps that you attached for the front of your bag. So I'm going to explain what I mean by that. What I mean by that is, this is the strap for the front of my bag. I'm going to take the last one that's closest to the straps are attached on this side, and I will lace it down like this, and do the same for this one as well, and the same for the other one as well. Then I will attach my needle and kind of sew 3 of them together like this till I get to the normal straps for this side. We're going to be doing this randomly, so you can just insert your hook into any of the straps at the bottom. Now you're going to repeat the same thing. Go into the next strap and into 3 of your handles, and just do this randomly basically. So do this till you get to the second panel. I'm done with the front side. Flip your work to the back of your bag and continue. Attach the other bag handle to the straps at the bottom. You can either continue working with the thread on your yarn, or you cut off and just attach from here up. So what I'll do is to just kind of lay mine down and attach. So I'm done with mine. I finished. I tied my thread or my yarn and I cut off. So do it the same for the other side as well, and you're going to make straps that we'll be using to tie around the handles. Now we're going to wrap the handles. I already wrapped this. I'll advise that you tie your bag handle with a tiny rope like this. I don't know if you guys can see because I use the same color of yarn. Place your work like this, and you're going to start wrapping from where you attached your straps. The last strap is here, like this. Make it tight. So I like to sew the strap to the other straps beneath to keep it still. You can use a pin if you want. I actually do not have a pin. That's why I'm making use of my needle. And even if you use a pin, you still need to secure with your needle. So I'm also going to attach to this part to secure and continue wrapping. Make sure you stack your strap on top of the previous strap. So just wrap it like this. I'm finding it hard to do mine under the camera, so I'm going to do mine off camera. Just keep wrapping it like this. You can use your needle and be attaching the straps together as you walk to secure them. So I'm going to do mine off camera because it's difficult for me to wrap this in this position. I actually forgot to show you guys how I finished this up. So I wrapped till I have like a small piece of my strap remaining. Then I tucked it inside the wrap. So in order to make my wrap stronger, I have been passing my needle and thread across like this. I already kind of did it around and I'm okay with how secure this is. So now I'm going to hide my loose ends into the strap with my needle. I'm sure you guys would be seeing a whole lot of loose ends on your work. So what I'm going to do now is to hide all of my loose ends off camera and attach my back clasps. I may or might not be teaching how to make that in this video because I think there's a whole lot of tutorials already covered out on YouTube and it depends on how lengthy the video is already. Once you place your back clasps, you sew into these tiny holes with your needle and do the same for this side as well.